This is KGW News at noon.
Welcome to the News at Noon. I'm Drew Carney, and we start this afternoon with a traffic alert in North Portland. You see I-5 behind me here. I-5 has been shut down in both directions, and it's been that way for the last couple of hours. So we can actually take you out live to this scene right now. This is near the Lombard Boulevard exit. Police responded to a 911 call right before 10 a.m. Now, they haven't confirmed exactly what the reason is for all this police activity, but we have seen dozens of units on the scene there, and you can see that it is still a traffic mess at this hour. This has been going on for the last couple of hours. No indication yet when I-5 will reopen, but of course, we'll continue to provide updates as we get them. You can find those updates on our website, kgw.com.
I totally understand the conflict that he was going through. Because that's where he played, that's where he grew up. You know, when he was a GA or an assistant there, I'm sure he dreamed of being the head coach there one day. And here he is several years later with that dream in his lap.
That is University of Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullins talking about one of our other top local stories this afternoon. University of Oregon head football coach Mario Cristobal is leaving Eugene to take over as the head coach at the University of Miami. It's a story that's been brewing since Friday in the hours leading up to the Ducks' loss to Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. And it's not a surprise that Cristobal is going to Miami because he has a long history there. He grew up in Miami, played football for the Hurricanes between 1988 and 1992, and was an assistant coach at Miami. During his 4 seasons as head coach of the Ducks, Cristobal had a record of 35 wins and 13 losses. The other big local sports story today is the Timbers getting ready to play in Saturday's MLS Cup Championship. The Timbers got there by winning on Saturday at Providence Park. They knocked off Salt Lake 2-0 that night to clinch the Western Conference Championship. Their opponent in the MLS Cup Finals this Saturday will be New York City. This is the 3rd time in 7 years that the Timbers have reached the finals, and it's the first time that they've been able to host the finals. They're the home team, Rod Hill.
Are the New York City soccer team as bad as their New York City basketball teams? We don't know.
You're hoping that the soccer version of the Knicks shows up on Saturday. That would be nice. No, this team's a little better than that, but I do believe that the Timbers will prevail, Rodney.
Yes, some rain on Saturday, but they played in the rain and won this past
We play
Saturday.
well in the rain.
We do. All right, speaking of, that's the transition, you know. We have rain, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you look at this, see those bright yellow-orange colors? That's the radar picking up some pretty hefty downpours south of Portland and moving out. That would be, if it holds together, move up into the Cascades around Bachelor. But a closer look from Portland up to the northwest to Astoria, things are slowly trying to break up, and certainly the rain rate has let up somewhat. Eventually, most of today's rain is going to be pushing off this afternoon. I'm not sure if we get into more of a scattered shower pattern as we get rolling through the next couple of hours, or if we simply taper off into kind of a steady drizzle. But the amount of rain falling is definitely going to be tapering off throughout the rest of the afternoon hours. Here's a look at a very rainy shot. That's Elk Ridge Golf Course out in Carson on the Washington side of the gorge. You should be able to see the mountains here, but of course you can't see anything. So it's pretty widespread rain, including out there in the gorge. As I mentioned, downtown Portland just as overcast. Temperatures haven't done much. We're at 43. This is a push of warmer air. So as the rain rates start to taper off, temperatures should bump. In fact, I have it still going up at 8 o'clock this evening at 48 degrees. More than a half of an inch of rain has fallen. We'll take a look at those rain totals. Also talk mountain snow levels for the Cascades coming up in just a bit.
All right, more from Rod coming up here, as he mentioned, in just a few minutes. But right now, we do want to get to our top COVID story this morning. Cases of the new Omicron variant have been confirmed in Washington and California, but there haven't been any Omicron cases reported yet in Oregon. KGW's Galen Etlin brings us this local COVID update.
People lined up Sunday morning to get their COVID vaccines and boosters.
So I'm really proud to see all the cars lined up here today.
That's John George of the Confederated Tribe of Grand Ronde, working with Wood Village and Oregon Health Authority to operate this high-volume vaccination site on the tribe's land.
It's nice to see that people actually are getting vaccinated.
The site on the former Multnomah Greyhound Park runs through Saturday the 11th, one of about a dozen in the works around the state offering Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson shots for both kids and adults. You do not need an appointment. The vaccination effort is ramping up as Omicron COVID cases pop up nearby.
We have been saying it's not a matter of if, but when that we would find Omicron in our state.
The Washington State Department of Health confirmed 3 Omicron cases Saturday, making it the 13th state to detect the highly contagious variant.
I hope I'm wrong, but I expect we'll see many more cases in the coming weeks.
Early studies show the Omicron variant is easily spread, but there's no evidence it makes people sicker or that it resists vaccines. Oregon has not reported an Omicron case yet, and the Delta variant remains dominant nationwide. OHSU predicts the overall number of new COVID infections in Oregon will keep falling through February, but it is unclear if Omicron will impact that. Researchers also believe only about 18% of Oregonians are still susceptible to the virus. In the meantime, health experts on all levels urge people to get boosted and vaccinated. And leaders,
my role here today is to say thank you.
Like Mayor Scott Hardin in Wood Village, hope people continue prevention with masking.
We'll know that we did everything, we achieved great things despite the pandemic.
A world away from this time last year, with cases now trending down and vaccinations trending up.
Protect their own health, the health of their families, and the health of the people that they interact with every day in our community.
I'm Galen Etlin for KGW News.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration is creating federal vaccination sites all across the country, and Washington will be home to one of the first sites. So they're calling these family mobilization clinics, and the one in Washington will be at the Federal Way Performing Arts Center in South King County, that's south of Seattle. President Biden said the clinics will replace the mass vaccination clinics that we had during the height of the COVID crisis. And these will allow everyone from kids to seniors to get either vaccinated or their booster shots all in one place. Washington Governor Jay Inslee says he's happy about the news.
So this is continuing to add to our efforts to get vaccine to where people are. And we know there's considerable demand, as I indicated. It's going to increase our equity as well.
Again, that was Washington Governor Jay Inslee talking about this new clinic. That clinic will open up in King County on December 20th and will run, right now at least, for about 30 days.